welcome to another video. My name's Bart, and today we'll be doing a lap guide at the Watkins Glen International Circuit, this time on the classic boot layout. Let's get to hot lap. Okay, so heading down the main straight now at Watkins Glen. Into turn one. First things first, there's a little bit of extra track here on the left-hand side of the white line. This gets a bit narrower into the first corner, so make sure you're not using all of it up to the grass, because you'll end up on the grass in a second about now, as you can see. So turn one, probably one of the most important corners on the track, even more so on this version of the track. So on this classic version of the boot or the full course, you have a much longer straight because you don't have the chicane. So it's important to get a good exit. It's important to carry a lot of speed through turn one. So tricky corner because you're kind of downhill, banked, medium to high speed corner. And a lot of your lap time is going to be how much speed you can carry through the cambered apex, as well as not scrubbing too much on the wheel. I think is the biggest danger in this car. I think people it's easy to over push this corner and feel like I've got a lot of lock on, I'm full throttle, and I'm just understeering off, and then you just kill the speed, or you go bouncing on the bumps on the outside of the track. So braking wise, to start with, you can see braking just off the 200 board on the left. About almost in the middle, I'd say, between 100 and 200, maybe slightly before that. You probably want to brake on the slightly, what feels like the earlier side into this corner. If you brake slightly late, you never really get that back. If you brake slightly early, you can get away with it. You just end up a little bit wider on the exit. So very aggressive brake here, hard braking. Try and get that efficient straight line braking done really quickly, down to fourth gear. See, it's also, I delayed that last gear change as well, which will help with that rotation a bit later into the corner, which sometimes can be a bit tricky, especially with the fixed setup. Into the camber, this is the biggest thing, is positioning here. You can take the curb. There's no reason why not. It's not faster, but the car will deal with it. Ideally, you want to have your right tires either on the yellow line, so basically the bottom of the banking, or you want to have it on this first step of the curb here, okay? So aim to be in that vicinity, let's say, of the corner on the inside. If you're a bit wider, then you can really lose out. Just understeer on the exit because you're not using all the camber. So get the car in it should be quite aggressive. And that's part of the reason also why we want to have a very firm brake, is that will help pitch the nose of the car and get good rotation initially into the corner. Rotation in, carry plenty of speed. Once you get into the apex here, right at the bottom of the corner, you should be able to pick up throttle fairly aggressively, as I do here. Don't have too much lock on. You can see I'm trying to kind of just manage it, get the lock as much as possible. using all the curb. So this is legal as long as you have your right-hand side tires still on this yellow and red curb. You're all good in terms of off tracks. I have said before at Watkins Glen, sometimes it's faster to not actually use all the curb because this car, as you can hear, bottoms out a lot over these bumps. Tested it a few times now. It's very negligible, the difference between running your left tires, running your left tires about here-ish, or running them using all the track width up to the off track. It just depends, I'd say, on how the car. So if it's under steering, it's going to go out. It's going to go out. But you can go a bit tighter and sometimes be a little bit quicker up the hill. So pretty similar if you get it right. So cutting the speed there. Now, if you are going to go wide like I do here, please wait to rejoin over the curb because this part of the curb is really bumpy. I mean, you can hear it. It's the floor of the car scraping quite badly, which is what kind of causes us to stall and lose a bit of time compared to being a bit tighter. But yeah, wait to here-ish a bit later down the curb, I find is a bit better because the bumps are horrendous in this part of it. So you can cross over there. It's a bit smoother. Also, we don't want to rush because there's no point like just yanking the wheel and killing a really important speed up this hill. It's important to be quite accurate now once we get out of turn one, just to maintain the speed for the longest straight on the track. Easy full throttle here. Only thing I would say for this S section coming in, really try and be smooth on the steering and don't try to meet the yellow line like really early. Try and meet it further up, if that makes sense. So see in a second. See, I get into the camber now. I want to keep it here, just the line of least resistance, and also trying to shorten the distance as well. So I go with the wheel straight there between the two, then keep it to the left-hand side. Just for this bit, then I straighten up now. As soon as I can get it straight, I can see I get it straight and not hit the wall. Then I'm going to get out of the steering and also hold your shifts, right? Remember, you're going uphill. Hold the revs just a little bit longer, both for the shift into fourth to fifth initially, and then also this one as well. Just wait till you get over this little crest here. Now, when you shift to six, that's worth a little bit, but it's easy time, yeah? Easy time if you remember it. Again, shortest distance, come out the steering, kind of use the camera a bit there. It's a bit like out of Radion at Spa. Then just sit here on the left-hand side of the straight, know what's going on. We're going to miss a chicane. Just make sure we position well for this quick right-hander coming up. Quite tricky here, quite blind as well from cockpit cam. This bump's not great. I would not recommend using this little bit of track we have here on the left because, I mean, it's not straight, is it? So if you go left, you're going to end up on the grass. You need to braking, turning. So just stay here on the white line. Braking is basically as you come over the crest. Just before this different colored patch of tarmac. Braking is to go over the crest. You don't really want to brake before it. Kind of go wait till you get over the top of it so the car kind of is going, the front's going to be leaning down anyway, pitching over the crest. Very soft brake. We want to carry a lot of speed. You definitely have to brake here. It just helps the car turn a lot better and get in a lot quicker as well. So nice little soft brake. You can see we're turning in the whole time as well. So just really soft brake. Pitches the nose, gets the car into the apex. Down to fifth gear. Meet the inside curb. Same as you would normally for this corner on this escape road bit. Very good reference. And then that's also where you want to pick up throttle. See, up to full throttle now. Nice and early. Try and do everything as early as possible there. If you can be a little bit earlier on the brake, a little bit earlier when you rotate it, and a little bit earlier onto throttle, it helps you carry the speed through the corner. Yeah, as long as you're not understeering off. You can use the track all the way up to the grass here and up to the wall, but it does, again, bottom out in this car. Sometimes it stalls your momentum a little bit. So here's probably one of the trickiest corners on the track. Make sure you get all the way over to the right-hand side. We've got this little patch of tarmac on the right, which is a good reference. We're going to be braking before that, down to fourth gear. Braking technique is quite important here. So quite a short, peaky brake. So bang, hit the pedal hard, down to fourth gear, bleed out quickly. If you hold the brake here, you'll kind of snatch a tire. It'll get on the edge of locking and you'll just understeer off. So watch out for that one. Get into the apex. There's lots of camber here. Let's try and meet the inside curb. You know, if you're up here, you're looking around to about here-ish. And once you get into that camber, it should be quite easy to get on throttle. And also the track comes towards you here. Grip up as you go down the hill. So it might feel like you're going to understeer off, but it should grip up. You can use all this curb on exit, no problems there. Now let's get back, positioned nicely back to the left-hand side of the track. All the way using all the track. Fourth gear again, very similar corner, very similar technique to the previous one. short peaky brake. So we want to get our braking done really quickly and efficiently. There's also, again, help put weight on the nose, help rotate the car. But it's only a very short brake, and we need to bleed out so we're not overloading the tire on the entry as we're turning in. You see peak brake, quite quickly bleeding off, down to fourth gear. It's a bit tricky here. I generally look to be about here at the widest point. You don't want to meet this dark patch tire. Look about here, and then looking around to meet the inside yellow line about here-ish. Quite tricky. I think the biggest danger here is if you're braking too early or you slow the car down too much, you meet the inside. It'll feel like you're forced in too early in this cambered uphill corner. It's easy to think, oh, I brake quite late, I pushed the entry a lot, but then the way the corner is, it'll naturally slow the car down and bring the car towards the inside. You'll meet the inside too early. You'll then pick up throttle too early because you think, oh, I'm going too slow. I need to pick up throttle, and then you end up understeering on the exit or maybe having to lift. So that's the main danger. Make sure we roll the speed, and we're forced out wide here to get the best exit possible. You see, I roll the speed all the way up to this point. I only pick up throttle now. And when I do, bang really fast, okay? If you slowly get on the throttle, do what I call stepping, going like that, then you're just going to induce understeer. So please try and be quick. It doesn't have to be instant, but it has to be pretty brisk, okay? Okay, nicely the car should be forced out into this little kind of, extra bit of track on the exit here. Super smooth with the steering that bit. Makes a huge difference, okay? Up to fifth now. Okay, another fourth gear corner coming out. Same thing, very similar to a lot of the other corners here in this car. Peaky brake, bleed out, roll the speed, get into the camber. Don't scrub the front too much. Once you kind of get into that camber, you should be able to quite aggressively pick up throttle, force the car out wide. You can use all the runoff there. On this lap, I'm pretty on the edge. You don't need to be this wide to be quick, I find here. This lap, I was just a little bit wide. But this certainly does work as well. You can use all the track. This is not off track as long as you don't go on the grass. Rejoin. And this is where you had to work hard to get back to the right-hand side, okay? Down to third gear. This corner's a bit tricky. It's always how late do you dare to brake, right? If you brake very early here, you're going to turn in and then you're going to turn out, basically, because you're going to meet the inside curve, go, oh, it's too tight, or you can get on throttle early and you're going to be understeering or snap oversteer over the crest on exit. So you always kind of want to push the entry more here and delay the rotation just so we get the car straighter for this next exit, which is quite important because the corner after this is flat out. So this can be worth a lot of lap time, right, this exit? But at the same time, if you go a little bit too late, you can see you kind of just miss the corner if you end up pushing this entry too much. So right on the edge here. So down to third gear, not much in the way of references, so it's a bit tricky. You just got to kind of judge it. I mean, you got this bit where the white line kind of deviates a little bit to the right. And please don't use shadows because obviously they move. But yeah, just try to look into the apex, look around. You want to be around here somewhere it's blind, but just look to try and meet that. Try and delay your rotation point a bit. Very similar brake technique to the other corners here. A bit softer this one because they're not going as fast. Third gear. Don't try to do all the rotation straight away. Again, kind of goes with what I was saying. You don't need to have the car rotate now because, well, it doesn't help you. It's such a long corner. You need to wait a little bit. See, we roll the speed in, and now we're kind of rotating the car. Get the car onto the apex curb. And then we should be able to settle the car on the throttle pedal. Should feel like we want to stabilize it as well as accelerate out of the corner. It should be right on the limit on the edge of this exit curb. Okay, this next left-hand is pretty easy. Just use all the track, really smooth on the steering. Just clip the inside curb nicely. Don't need the outside curb. Flat out in fifth gear. Just reduce the lock there is really important. Get over to the left-hand side again. Soft brake. A really soft brake into here. Very similar to the corner at the end of the back straight. We just want to kind of maintain the momentum, but do it a little bit earlier so we can just focus on our exit. Yeah, so soft brake, that early throttle pickup. Soft brake, get the car into the camber. Now it's in the camber. Let's go on throttle. Again, really quick. Use the curb and exit. You can go up to the wall again, but if you do run the middle of the car over the curbing here, it can bounce a little bit and bottom out. You lose a bit of momentum. Smooth on the steering. It's a straight run to the line. And that's a lap at Watkins Glen. Okay, so that takes us to the end of the video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. And you can also check out the Coach Dave Academy Discord in the YouTube video description. I've been Bart. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.